Hi, I'm U.S. Senator Rob Portman. Along with community leaders, including Reverend Damon Lynch Jr., we founded the Coalition for a Drug-Free Greater Cincinnati in 1996, a time of rising drug use among our young people. I was honored to go on and chair that coalition for 9 years. To all my friends at the Coalition, thanks for the opportunity to briefly address the importance of the faith-based community in drug prevention. I first came to understand the importance of drug prevention and the power of grassroots coalitions on this issue back in 1995. It was just after I'd been elected to the U.S. House of Representatives representing the Cincinnati area. One day I agreed to meet with a constituent who'd experienced a terrible tragedy. Her 16-year-old son, Jeff Gardner, had recently collapsed and died as a result of substance abuse, huffing gasoline, smoking marijuana. She was in Washington, D.C. to attend a meeting of the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America and to give me and President Bill Clinton at the time gold ID bracelets with Jeff's name on them. I've still got that ID bracelet. She came to me and said, "Congressman, what are you doing to help me and my son to avoid these kinds of terrible tragedies happening to others?" I really couldn't answer her question. I said, "Oh gosh, we're spending all this money, $15 billion a year on drug interdiction and prosecutions and so on." She said, "No, what are you doing to help me in my neighborhood, in my community?" And folks at my church are in denial. They say, "We don't have a problem here. My school isn't cooperating. The folks in the neighborhood aren't coming together." And that's when I thought about these community coalitions, because Jeff's story left a lasting impression on me. Jeff's mom was really the catalyst that sparked my search for meaningful solutions to prevent substance abuse. And after seeing the work of coalitions around the country, I knew that that would be something that could actually help to prevent substance abuse. And I decided to find a way to support these organizations in Cincinnati and around the country, so I joined with others to author this Drug-Free Communities Act. Drug-Free Communities program redirects federal anti-drug resources from Washington to communities such as ours that are organized together to fight drugs. It's been really successful. Hundreds of coalitions have been established as a result of it. As common sense as it sounds today, it was pretty innovative at the time. But faith-based leaders always played an incredibly important role in this program. We knew they had to be partners because they embody the rich fabric of our communities. Folks listen to them. Faith-based organizations and leaders are really the beacons of hope to so many who are suffering from trials and tribulations. Many turn to faith in times of great adversity. Houses of worship and organizations of faith are always there for our neighbors who are physically, mentally, spiritually in need. Faith-based groups are the first line of defense, too, as well as service to vulnerable and high-risk populations. Faith-based leaders can use this position as an opportunity to direct those in need to other programming for prevention and treatment, and they do. As Proverbs dictate, we are encouraged to seek wise counsel in godly men. The house of worship acts as a lampstand to guide the lost and help them restore their lives to the place that God intends. Sometimes the most difficult part of drug prevention is getting the message to people who need it the most. That's why the faith community is one of the most important partners a coalition can have. Not only are faith leaders well-respected figures in the community, but they can reach people where they are. As faith leaders, you have the ability to influence and motivate your flock to bring about a more healthy community, thriving communities. Prevention, by the way, is the most cost-effective way to deal with the cost and consequences of substance abuse and addiction. Investments in prevention can pay huge dividends. The savings per dollar spent on substance abuse prevention are substantial. We've done a lot of research on this, and for each dollar invested, the savings range from $2 to $20. So other things are important, enforcement and so on, but we've got to have prevention and treatment. We can't simply assume that our youth will understand the dangers associated with drug use and underage drinking if they don't explicitly get the right message from multiple sources, including their parents, including schools, including the media, and including faith leaders. All of America's community schools and parents, regardless of socioeconomic status, geographic location, have got to have access to accurate information, effective policies, and effective programming to deal with alcohol, tobacco, illegal drugs, and the misuse and abuse of prescription drugs and over-the-counter drugs. Given the negative consequences, costs of drug, alcohol, tobacco use on our society, which has been estimated, by the way, at about $600 billion per year, investing in the prevention of substance abuse should be a higher priority for our country. I've seen firsthand how the work of drug prevention coalitions can improve our neighborhoods, community. The coalition's actions in Greater Cincinnati have helped lead to a 30% reduction of adolescent substance abuse in our region. These are our children, our grandchildren, who have their whole lives ahead of them. Thanks to the coalition, many of them have a brighter future. The work you do every day truly makes a difference, and for that I thank you. Working on drug prevention was one of the most gratifying aspects of my service in the U.S. House of Representatives, and now that I'm in the U.S. Senate, I'm continuing to work on it. I'm working with individuals and organizations like the Coalition for a Drug-Free Greater Cincinnati to produce meaningful legislation that actually makes a positive difference in people's lives. So please continue on this path. As you build on your successes, I'll be advocating for the continued support of programs like Drug-Free Communities Act, which I'm now attempting to have reauthorized in my role in the Senate. Godspeed in your important work. God bless you for what you do.